Greetings, Shadow Mages and Dwellers into Secrets. The name is Technus, and I've risen from the grave because the last video was months ago. I apologize that I haven't uploaded any videos a couple of months. I had an internship, had some commissions, and I need to finish my exams for the education, and I'm a bit stressed out, but during all of that I've been thinking to tell a D&D story from my Saturday campaign. The campaign story is called Before the Storm, a homebrew world, so I'm warning to all of you who do not like homebrew stuff. Alright, small backstory of Mo, so you won't get confused, and you get to know my character a little bit. So Mo is an Eladrin, shadow sorcerer. In my DM's homebrew world, Eladrins are like the top elven race, and it was believed that they were extinct hundreds or maybe 1,000 years ago. So seeing an Eladrin is very, very rare. Mo is innocent, kind, curious, and empathetic. He loves to help others, draw, and make flower crowns. Came this up randomly. He's mostly shy and gets easily scared. He rather doesn't want to fight and wanted to hide like a coward. But whenever his friends needed him, he does his best to protect them. Mo is currently a winter Aladdin, so he's a little bit droopy all the time and touchy. Mo came out of a peculiar black flower in the middle of a large room. It was cold. He did not remember who he is or who he was. He suffered amnesia. He heard whispers saying Mo, and he thought that it was his name. He wanders out the cold cave and discovered that he has dark magic that can easily hurt someone. He never asked for this magic and wonders why he has it. Mo was scared, a coward. Then he saw the world for the first time. A strange world, yet full of wonder. After days of wandering in the snow, he met the adventurers. They gave him clothes, protection, and brought him to Ariantos, where they believed he can get help from there. Mo is eager to find his purpose in the world and wanted to know who he really is, but he has to make difficult decisions on his way. So, as you can guess, maybe, I gave my DM the creative freedom to spice and torch my character. I've asked for this and I've signed up to get traumatized. Yuppie! So now the incidents of the magic and dreams. Even though he was told that he is more elven than the high elves, drow and wood elves, he, for some reason, has dreams. Now an elf that sleeps and dreams, that is not normal in Dungeons and Dragons. In my DM's homebrew world, dreams were seen as an omen. It is normal for humans and other creatures to sleep without dreaming. But since Mo has a lot of dreams lately, I think I see them as memories or messages from someone. The first dream was about the vague murder. I have to tell the short backstory before we are getting into the dreams, or it will be very confusing. So, before Mo had his first dream, there was a festival in the kingdom of Ariantos to celebrate the birthday of the king's son. Mo and his new group of adventurers participated in the duels, and we met a noble, who wasn't really nice. His name was Dominic. He has something to do with some sort of a mafia organization. He cannot pay them back, so for his punishment, he was murdered by them. Mo is innocent, and seeing a hanged corpse for the first time, it wasn't easy to get rid of that memory, which led to Mo having a dream about it. This dream started with Mo staring down in that inn's second floor, which led to the door which revealed Dominic's hanged corpse. He was unaware how long it took him, but it seemed like hours of just staring the body swaying softly in the breeze. A sensation of melancholy washed over him. Mo was sad, but at the same time it felt like something Mo was used to seeing it. At some point he noticed his surroundings changed, and he was now in a long and vast hallway of stone floor and walls. Columns spread throughout it sustained the large stone ceiling. The bleak hallway was dimly lit by moonlight. When Mo looked back, Dominus' corpse was not hanging, but was sprayed across the floor. A blood pool formed beneath him, and his blood was also on Mo's hand and on his blade that he held. Someone's voice calls him from beyond, and Mo was set awake. The second dream is about the battlefield. That could lead to Mo to his death in the past. Probably. Before his dream, two of our group members, a Minotaur fighter and High Elf monk, are winners of some certain tournaments they participated. So our champions got their reward from the king, and we actually met the king and his son. When the group enters the throne room, the architecture and decorations were splendor, but Mo felt like he was used seeing it, which is strange. After we got our reward, we head out, until Prince Sucard was probably from the north and he came along with his family to visit his cousin's birthday. I don't know if that's correct, but he told us that we were seen as great fighters and cooperative people, and he potentially wanted to hire us. He is interested to discover the Book of All Knowledge. That book is a legend. It might alter the history or recover true history of Gaia, aka the world. But he wanted to see the group if they're worthy enough to get hired. So he tasked us to slay a manticore they've captured and bring its heart, so we can mix it with dragon blood to make a potion. We've bought resources and prepared ourselves to slay the manticore. When we entered the arena, the manticore got unleashed. We fought against the manticore while the prince is watching and chilling. When the manticore shoots its stings, it hits Mo's torso real bad, but he was strong enough to resist the poison. We eventually slayed the manticore. We chopped off his head and cut out his heart and handed it to the prince. The potion will be done tomorrow. While we went back to the inn to sleep, Mo has another dream. As Mo retreated to rest after the manticore fight, he felt the same sting he had felt when its spike hit him. The pain was intense, and for a brief moment he felt like it would kill him. Unbearable as it was, Mo was unable to open his eyes. Eventually he did, and before them he saw a grey sky of smoke and thundering clouds. People shouted around him, and he could hear the faint clashing of steel meeting steel. The ground grumbled with the galloping horses in the distance. Mo tried to set himself awake, but the pain is too intense for him to even move. It is then he noticed the arrow lodged in his stomach and ribs, his blood painting his clothes and the ground beneath him a deep crimson. He struggled and fight to stand, to no avail. But then he heard something approach. Heavy footsteps, armored footsteps. Mo was unable to see its face, but he saw the plate steal from its greaves as its towering figure casting a shadow over him. By its side he sees the end of a massive blade, which is lifted slowly. As the figure is about to bring its blade down, Mo's vision ends, and he wakes up on the following day, drenched in sweat and stinging pain in his abdomen. Oh boy, this raises a lot of questions, eh? The second dream is not a dream, but some sort of a vision. The next morning, Prince Ricard gave his book to Mo as a reward, about the war and the betrayal which led to the murder of the elven king, Aldarfe. When we went into the city, we've discovered a peculiar ring. It has a red gem, warm to the touch, with infernal, elvish and dwarvish descriptions engraved on the ring. It says something that it takes souls in order to power up the magic. As Mo touches it, he feels foul magic running through its veins. He snapped out of it and throws it back to the table. As everyone tries to touch it, they didn't get the same reaction as Mo. Later on the day, the group was concerned. They've tried to destroy the ring, but it did not work. Our paladin wanted to hand it to the Church of the Sun, so they can keep it safe. Mo wanted to hold the ring. He wanted to know why he was the only one having the reaction. So he asked the group if he can hold it one more time. After some heavy thinking, they agreed. We've bought a room from a different inn, away from the public eye. When Mo held the ring, the room starts to darken quickly until the room is pitch black. No one can see or hear, but Mo feels something in his hand. A sacrificial dagger, and warm fresh blood dripped down his hand to the floor, where he sees a familiar body. The body was a wood elf. Long blonde hair, fair skin, and he was dressed in royal clothing. It was the Elven King, bleeding on the cold floor. Mo stood with the Elven King in the middle of the room. When Mo looks up, he sees figures standing inside the same room, surrounding him, lit under the moonlight. They were wearing red robes, and each of them they held their sacrificial daggers as they began to chant. The pool of blood under the Elven King starts to move up, and slowly the blood forms into a giant red crystal, almost the size of a head. Its light beats like a heartbeat, and it was warm to the touch. Behind Mo, into the hallway, they've heard a crashing building and a dreadful roar of a dragon. The vision ends. Everyone in the room was shocked. The paladin drew his sword and wanted to strike Mo because of his foul dark magic, but got held back by one or two of the group members. They all saw the vision, but they only saw Mo and the murdered Elven King. Our drow sorcerer shouted from anger and looks at Mo. Murderer! Because of you, my people had to flee in the underground. You Kingslayer! Traitor! I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I've done my best to make this video fun. This is an ongoing campaign, so tell me guys what you think and maybe I'll make a series of it. This is Technus. Have an unpleasant dream.